How many tabs do you have open on your browser right now? Be honest, is it 5, 10, or so many that the little icons have turned into a tiny crowded mess of unreadable symbols? Are you shaking your leg while listening to this? Did you just pick up your phone, unlock it, completely forget why you opened it, lock it again, and then, 5 seconds later, unlock it again because your hand just did it automatically? If you do any of these things, according to about 10,000 videos on TikTok, you have ADHD. Congratulations, you've diagnosed yourself through an algorithm. But wait, is it actually ADHD? Or has the modern world quietly, systematically rewired your brain to perfectly mimic a neurodevelopmental disorder? Think about it, because by the end of this video, we are going to expose a dark, incredibly profitable psychological trap. Loop that the tech industry and social media algorithms are using to literally simulate ADHD in neurotypical brains, and will reveal the exact moment where your natural human laziness gets weaponized against your own focus. But first, let's open a loop that will close in just a few minutes. I want to give you a quick 1-minute mental test, a checklist that psychiatrists actually use, to tell the difference between someone who has genuine genetic ADHD and someone who is just suffering from modern digital brain rot. Keep your habits in mind, because we're going to dissect how your brain is being hacked, and the results of this test might actually shock you. To understand why everyone suddenly thinks they have ADHD today, we have to look at what the disorder actually is. Because let's be honest, the internet has completely watered down the definition. True ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is not just getting distracted by shiny things. It's a lifelong, highly genetic neurological condition. It is a literal structural difference in how your brain is built, specifically in the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, organizing, and most importantly, regulating dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical that makes your brain say, hey, doing this boring task is worth it, keep going. In a brain with real ADHD, the dopamine receptors are chronically starved. It's like trying to run an engine with a slow, leaky fuel pump. The engine works, but it constantly stalls unless you rev it up with something highly stimulating. But here is where things get really weird, and where our next loop opens, because if you don't have this genetic leak, why does it feel like your focus is completely broken? Why do you feel that exact same, restless, dopamine-starved itch every single day? The answer lies in a concept called the dopamine slot machine, and we will break down exactly how your phone is acting as an artificial pump, simulating ADHD symptoms in your head, in just a moment. But before we unpack how massive tech companies are deliberately shattering your attention span for profit, and before I share that simple, 1-minute test to find out if your brain is actually chemically broken or just temporarily rewired, do me a quick silent favor. If you find yourself constantly questioning your own focus, and you want to keep exploring the deep, uncomfortable ways modern psychology is hacking your daily life, take just 1 second to hit that subscribe button and drop a like on this video. It takes you literally a moment, but it helps us keep uncovering these deep truths for you. Done. Awesome. Now let's close that loop about the dopamine slot machine. Think about how you use social media. You pull down to refresh a feed. You swipe up on a short-form video. What is that motion? It's the exact same physical movement as pulling the lever on a slot machine in Las Vegas, and your brain processes it in the exact same way. Every time you swipe, your brain doesn't know if the next video is going to be incredibly boring or the funniest thing you've seen all week. That uncertainty triggers a tiny, powerful spike of dopamine. It's a biological reward for a passive action. Over time, your brain gets used to this constant, effortless flood of quick dopamine. It becomes your new baseline. So when you finally put the phone down to do something that requires sustained, quiet effort, like reading a book, studying, or working on a project, your rewired brain goes into absolute panic. It stalls. It screams for that quick, easy hit of dopamine. It begins to mimic the exact symptoms of ADHD. Restlessness, inability to focus, constant zoning out, irritability. You aren't born with a dopamine deficiency, but you have artificially created one by keeping your brain hooked to a digital slot machine 24 hours a day. And this is where the self-diagnosis trap closes its jaws. Because when people feel this acquired attention deficit, they go online to look for answers, and they run straight into a psychological trap called the Barnum effect. This is the same trick behind astrology and horoscopes. It's when a statement is so incredibly vague and universal that anyone who reads it thinks, oh my god, that is so me. Think about the ADHD symptoms popular on social media. Do you walk into a room and forget why you went there? Do you struggle to start tasks you find boring? Do you zone out when people talk too long? Of course you do. Every single human being on Earth does those things. But the algorithm packages these completely normal, universal human struggles, slaps a medical label on them, and serves them to you in a neat, highly shareable 15-second video. And why do we accept it so easily? Because a medical label is comforting. If you are struggling to focus because you are addicted to your phone, that feels like a personal failure. It means you have to do the hard, uncomfortable work of building discipline and putting the screen away. But if you have a neurodevelopmental disorder, Well, now it's not your fault. It's just how your brain is wired. It gives you an instant community of millions of other people who feel the exact same way. It excuses the struggle, but there is a massive danger here. By overdiagnosing ourselves with generic internet labels, we completely trivialize the very real, often debilitating struggles of people who actually have severe, clinical ADHD. People who struggle to keep jobs, maintain relationships, or function in daily life, even without a smartphone in their hand. Tonight, when you finally turn off your lights, put your phone on the nightstand and lie in the quiet, suffocating dark of your room. Pay attention to what your mind does. If it starts racing, itching for just one more swipe, one more tab, one more hit of cheap dopamine, ask yourself a very simple, chilling question. Is your brain actually broken? Or have you voluntarily handed the keys of your mind to an algorithm that profit maximizes your inability to pay attention? The mind staring into that dark ceiling is the exact same mind that once had the patience to read books, contemplate existence, and sit in quiet peace. It's still in there. You just have to be brave enough to turn off the machine. See you next time.